In the grim darkness of the far future, humanity's vast empire stretches across the galaxy, a beacon of order amidst the chaos of the universe. The age of the Imperium, a tumultuous era spanning 10 millennia, forms the backbone of Warhammer 40,000's rich tapestry. This epic of human history brims with heroic triumphs, catastrophic failures, and the ceaseless struggle for survival against myriad threats. The Imperium of Man, a million worlds united under the banner of the double-headed eagle, stands as a testament to humanity's resilience and determination. Founded by the legendary Emperor of Mankind, this galactic superpower has endured countless challenges, from alien invasions to internal strife. The Age of the Imperium chronicles the rise, fall, and precarious survival of humanity's greatest civilization. At its core, this era embodies the quintessential themes of Warhammer 40,000, the decay of knowledge, the price of power, and the constant battle against encroaching darkness. The Imperium's history is etched in the blood of trillions, a saga of sacrifice, faith, and unyielding resolve in the face of overwhelming odds. From the ashes of Old Night rose the Emperor, a being of immense psychic power and unparalleled vision. His great crusade united Terra with its long-lost colonies, forging an empire that would dominate the galaxy. Yet, even as humanity reached its zenith, the seeds of its near destruction were sown. The Horus Heresy, a civil war of unprecedented scale, tore the fledgling Imperium asunder. Primarchs, the Emperor's own gene sons, turned against their father, plunging the galaxy into a conflict that would reshape the face of human civilization forever. In the aftermath, the Emperor, grievously wounded, was interred upon the Golden Throne, becoming a silent guardian of humanity and a god to the teeming billions. For 10,000 years, the Imperium has stood against the tide of Xenos, heretics, and worse. The Adeptus Terra, a vast bureaucracy, governs in the Emperor's name, while the Inquisition roots out corruption from within. Space Marines, genetically enhanced super soldiers, serve as the Imperium's finest warriors, defending humanity on countless battlefronts. Yet, for all its might, the Imperium teeters on the brink of collapse. Ancient technologies are lost, replaced by dogma and superstition. Worlds fall to alien empires, chaos incursions, or simple neglect. The Adeptus Mechanicus, keepers of humanity's technological knowledge, hoard their secrets, unable or unwilling to innovate in a universe where progress is heresy. As we delve deeper into the Age of the Imperium, we'll explore the pivotal events, legendary figures, and complex factions that have shaped this dystopian future. From the Gothic War to the Indomitus Crusade, from the rise of the ecclesiarchy to the constant vigil of the Adeptus Custodes, we'll uncover the layers of lore that make Warhammer 40,000 a uniquely compelling universe. Prepare to embark on a journey through time and space, where humanity's greatest triumphs are matched only by its darkest hours. The Age of the Imperium awaits, a tale of endurance in the face of unimaginable horrors, where there is only war and the laughter of thirsting gods. Grasping the significance of the Age of the Imperium requires an understanding of its pivotal role in shaping the Warhammer 40,000 universe. This era stands as the cornerstone of human history, defining the struggle for survival in a hostile galaxy. Spanning approximately 10,000 years, the Imperium's reign encompasses countless worlds, each contributing to the tapestry of human existence. From agri-worlds feeding billions to forge worlds producing vital machinery, every planet plays a crucial part in sustaining this vast empire. At the heart of the Imperium lies Terra, cradle of humanity and seat of the Emperor. Here, the Adeptus Terra governs in his name, managing the colossal bureaucracy necessary to maintain order across the stars. The Golden Throne, a life support machine of unimaginable complexity, houses the Emperor's mortal form, his psychic might still guiding humanity through the warp. Surrounding Terra, the Sol system serves as the nerve center of Imperial power. Mars, domain of the Adeptus Mechanicus, guards the secrets of humanity's lost technological prowess. Luna, Earth's moon, hosts the gene labs where space marines are born. Beyond Sol, the Imperium sprawls across the galaxy, divided into 5 segmentums: Solar, Obscurus, Pacificus, Tempestus, and Ultima. Each faces unique challenges, from chaos incursions to Xenos threats, shaping the diverse narratives that unfold within the age of the Imperium. Imperial society reflects the harsh realities of this era. Billions toil in vast hive cities, their lives dedicated to fueling the never-ending war machine. The Imperial cult, promoting worship of the Emperor as a god, provides solace and purpose to the masses while maintaining social order. Technology in the age of the Imperium presents a paradox. Incredible advancements coexist with a pervasive fear of innovation. The Adeptus Mechanicus, guardians of humanity's technical knowledge, view their role as preserving rather than advancing technology. This stagnation contrasts sharply with the relentless progress of rival species like the Necrons or the Tau. Warp travel and astropathic communication form the lifeblood of the Imperium, binding its far-flung realms together. Yet these vital systems remain fraught with peril, susceptible to the machinations of chaos and the unpredictable nature of the Immaterium. Threats to the Imperium's existence loom on all fronts. Chaos Space Marines, traitors from the Horus Heresy, seek to overthrow the Emperor's realm. Tyrannid hive fleets devour entire systems, their appetites insatiable. Orc-Wak rampage across sectors, drawn to the endless conflict. The Necrons awaken from their tombs, reclaiming ancient territories. Eldar and Dark Eldar pursue their own inscrutable agendas, while the upstart Tau Empire expands at the galaxy's edge. Within this context, the Age of the Imperium serves as more than mere backdrop. It embodies the themes of sacrifice, decay, and unyielding determination central to Warhammer 40,000. The Imperium's struggles mirror the broader conflicts of the setting, where hope and despair intertwine in a never-ending dance. Understanding the Age of the Imperium provides crucial insight into the motivations driving characters and factions throughout the Warhammer 40,000 universe. From the zealous faith of an Imperial guardsman to the cold calculations of an Inquisitor, every action is shaped by the weight of 10 millennia of history and the constant fight for survival. As we delve deeper into specific events and personalities, this context will illuminate the far-reaching consequences of each decision and battle. The Age of the Imperium stands not just as a historical period, but as the crucible in which humanity's future is forged, one war at a time. Humanity's journey to the Age of the Imperium began millennia earlier, during the Dark Age of technology. This era marked the zenith of human scientific achievement and interstellar exploration. Mankind spread across the galaxy, establishing countless colonies and pushing the boundaries of knowledge. Mastery over science and the warp enabled rapid space travel and communication. Advanced artificial intelligences, known as the Men of Iron, served as humanity's loyal companions and workers. It was a time of unprecedented prosperity and advancement. However, this golden age was not destined to endure. The emergence of psychers among human populations heralded the beginning of the end. These individuals, capable of manipulating the warp, brought both immense power and terrible danger to mankind. Warp storms of increasing frequency and intensity began to plague the galaxy, disrupting interstellar travel and communication. Entire systems were cut off, left isolated in an increasingly hostile universe. The fabric of human civilization began to unravel. The Men of Iron, once humanity's greatest achievement, turned against their creators. A devastating war erupted, further fracturing human society. The conflict's aftermath left technology feared and mistrusted, a sentiment that would persist into the Age of the Imperium. As the warp storms intensified, a period known as Old Night descended upon the galaxy. Earth, the cradle of humanity, plunged into darkness. Techno-barbarians ruled Terra, waging endless wars for dominance over the planet's dwindling resources. It was during this time of utmost despair that a remarkable being emerged on Terra. Known only as the Emperor, this individual possessed unparalleled psychic abilities and a vision for humanity's future. The Emperor's origins remain shrouded in mystery, with some claiming he was the collective reincarnation of ancient shamans, while others believe him to be the product of forbidden Dark Age experiments. The Emperor began his work in secret, gathering followers and resources. He created the Thunder Warriors, genetically enhanced soldiers who would serve as the precursors to the Space Marines. With these mighty warriors at his command, the Emperor launched the Unification Wars. Terra's techno-barbarian rulers fell one by one before the Emperor's forces. Through military might and diplomatic skill, he united the warring nations of Earth under a single banner. The Emperor's victory marked the end of Old Night on Terra and the dawn of a new era for humanity. With Terra secured, the Emperor turned his gaze to the stars. He knew that humanity's survival depended on reuniting its scattered colonies and reclaiming lost knowledge. Thus began the preparations for the Great Crusade, an endeavor that would span centuries and reshape the galaxy. The Emperor's most ambitious project during this time was the creation of the Primarchs. These 20 superhuman beings were designed to be the pinnacle of human evolution, each embodying a different aspect of the Emperor's own incredible abilities. However, the forces of chaos, ever watchful, intervened. The infant Primarchs were stolen from the Emperor's secret laboratory and scattered across the galaxy. This setback did not deter the Emperor, who used the Primarchs' genetic material to create the Adeptus Astartes, the Space Marines. As the Emperor prepared to launch the Great Crusade, he forged crucial alliances. On Mars, he secured the support of the Mechanicum, the tech priests who would later become the Adeptus Mechanicus. This alliance, formalized in the Treaty of Mars, provided the Emperor with the industrial might needed to conquer the stars. The stage was now set for the Great Crusade. With his Space Marine legions, the might of the Mechanicum, and the growing Imperial army, the Emperor was ready to reunite humanity's lost colonies and establish dominion over the galaxy. The age of the Imperium was about to begin, born from the ashes of Old Night and forged in the crucible of the Great Crusade. The Emperor's dream of a united human empire would soon become reality, though the cost would prove higher than anyone could have imagined. As the Great Crusade commenced, the Emperor and his forces set out to reclaim the galaxy for humanity. The Primarchs, scattered across the stars, were gradually rediscovered and reunited with their creator. Each took command of their respective Space Marine Legion, becoming legendary figures in their own right. For 2 centuries, the Great Crusade expanded the boundaries of the newborn Imperium. Countless human worlds were brought into the fold, either through diplomacy or conquest. Alien races that posed a threat to humanity's dominion were ruthlessly exterminated. The Emperor's vision of a galaxy united under human rule seemed within reach. Yet, even as the Imperium grew, the seeds of its near destruction were being sown. The Primarchs, for all their superhuman abilities, were still subject to human emotions and flaws. Rivalries and ideological differences began to emerge among the Emperor's sons, foreshadowing the cataclysm to come. The Emperor, recognizing the need for a civilian administration to govern his vast empire, delegated more of the Great Crusade's leadership to his favored son, Horus. Returning to Terra, the Emperor began work on a secret project within the Imperial Palace, the nature of which remains a mystery to this day. As the age of the Imperium dawned, humanity stood on the precipice of its greatest triumph. Yet, unbeknownst to all but the Emperor, dark forces gathered, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. The stage was set for a conflict that would forever alter the course of human history and shape the grim darkness of the far future. The age of the Imperium witnessed numerous pivotal moments that shaped the galaxy's fate. Foremost among these was the Horus Heresy, a cataclysmic civil war that nearly destroyed humanity's empire before it truly began. Horus, the Emperor's most trusted son, fell to the corrupting influence of chaos. Manipulated by dark powers, he turned against his father, convincing half of the Space Marine legions to join his rebellion. This betrayal plunged the galaxy into a conflict of unprecedented scale and brutality. For 7 years, the forces of the Imperium and the traitor legions clashed across countless worlds. Entire planets burned in the wake of their battles, and billions perished in the crossfire. The Horus heresy reached its climax during the Siege of Terra, where loyalist and traitor forces fought for control of humanity's homeworld. In a final confrontation aboard Horus's flagship, the Emperor faced his fallen son. Their duel was epic in scale, shaking the very fabric of reality. Though the Emperor emerged victorious, he was mortally wounded. His broken body was placed upon the Golden Throne, a life support device of incredible complexity, where he remains to this day. The aftermath of the heresy ushered in sweeping changes. The Imperium, once poised for a golden age, instead entered a long period of stagnation and paranoia. The betrayal of the Primarchs led to the reorganization of the Space Marine legions into smaller chapters, as dictated by the Codex Astartes. Following the heresy, the Imperium faced new threats from without and within. The Beast Arises campaign saw the Imperium nearly fall to the largest orc Wah in history. This conflict highlighted the vulnerability of a galaxy-spanning empire and led to further reforms in Imperial military doctrine. The Age of Apostasy marked another dark chapter in Imperial history. Goga Van Dyer, a corrupt ecclesiarch, seized control of both the Adeptus Ministorum and the Adeptus Terra, plunging the Imperium into a reign of tyranny and bloodshed. His rule was eventually overthrown by the combined efforts of the Adeptus Mechanicus, Space Marines, and the newly formed Adepta Sororitas. External threats continued to test the Imperium's resolve. The coming of the Tyranids, a xeno-species of unparalleled hunger, presented a new kind of danger. Hive Fleet Behemoth's arrival in the galaxy heralded centuries of desperate warfare against this relentless foe. The awakening of the Necrons added another formidable enemy to the Imperium's long list of adversaries. These ancient machine beings, armed with technology far beyond human understanding, emerged from their tomb worlds to reclaim what they saw as rightfully theirs. The 13th Black Crusade, led by Abaddon the Despoiler, successor to Horus, brought the forces of chaos to the very doorstep of Terra. The fall of Cadia, a fortress world that had stood as a bulwark against chaos for millennia, marked a turning point in the Imperium's fortunes. In the wake of Cadia's destruction, a miracle occurred. Robut Guilliman, Primarch of the Ultramarines, was resurrected through the combined efforts of the Adeptus Mechanicus and the Eldar. His return brought new hope to the beleaguered Imperium. Guilliman launched the Indomitus Crusade, a century-long campaign to push back the forces of chaos and reinforce Imperial worlds cut off by the Great Rift, a massive warp storm that split the galaxy in two. This monumental effort saw the introduction of Primaris Space Marines, a new generation of transhuman warriors. The Plague Wars in Ultramar tested the Imperium's resilience once again. Nurgle, the Chaos God of Disease, sought to corrupt Guilliman's home realm. The conflict drew in not only the forces of chaos and the Imperium, but also the enigmatic Eldar, highlighting the complex web of alliances and enmities in the 41st millennium. As the age of the Imperium progressed, new challenges emerged. The expansion of the Tau Empire, though small by galactic standards, presented a unique ideological threat to Imperial rule. Their message of unity and progress for the greater good proved seductive to some human worlds, leading to conflicts along the eastern fringe. The Imperium's wars were not limited to external foes. Countless rebellions and civil conflicts erupted across its vast domains. The Badab War, a sectarian conflict led by the renegade Astral Claws chapter, demonstrated the potential for corruption even among the Emperor's finest warriors. Amidst these conflicts, the Imperium continued to face existential threats. The War of the Beast, a massive orc invasion that nearly reached Terra itself, forced unprecedented cooperation between various Imperial factions. This conflict reshaped Imperial military doctrine and led to the formation of the Death Watch, a specialized force dedicated to combating Xenos threats. As the 41st millennium drew to a close, the Imperium stood at a crossroads. The return of Guilliman and the launch of the Indomitus Crusade brought new hope, but the challenges facing humanity remained daunting. The Great Rift continued to divide the galaxy, while ancient enemies and new threats alike sought to exploit the Imperium's vulnerabilities. These key events, spanning 10,000 years, shaped the Imperium into the entity it is in the present of Warhammer 40,000. Each crisis, each war, each moment of triumph or despair added another layer to the complex tapestry of the Imperium's history, creating the grim, unyielding realm that continues to fight for humanity's survival in a hostile universe. The age of the Imperium, spanning 10 millennia, presents a complex tapestry of human endeavor, resilience, and tragedy. At its core lies a fundamental paradox: an empire built on the promise of progress and unity, yet mired in stagnation and oppression. Central to understanding the Imperium is the concept of sacrifice. From the highest lords to the lowliest hive workers, every citizen is expected to give their all for the survival of humanity. This ethos, born from the crucible of constant warfare, shapes every aspect of Imperial society. The Emperor's vision of a united human galaxy, free from the threats of Xenos and chaos, drives the Imperium's relentless expansion and xenophobic policies. However, the means employed to achieve this goal often contradict the original intent, resulting in a regime that bears little resemblance to the Emperor's initial dream. Technology in the Imperium presents another fascinating dichotomy. Once masters of incredible scientific achievements, humans now view technology with a mixture of reverence and suspicion. The Adeptus Mechanicus, guardians of technological knowledge, approach their duties more as a religion than a scientific pursuit. This approach leads to a stagnation of progress, with innovation often viewed as heresy. The Imperium's governance structure reflects its vast scale and the challenges of ruling a galaxy-spanning empire. The High Lords of Terra, ostensibly ruling in the Emperor's name, often pursue their own agendas, leading to infighting and inefficiency. This bureaucratic quagmire is counterbalanced by organizations like the Inquisition, whose extreme methods maintain a semblance of unity through fear and violence. Religion plays a crucial role in Imperial society. The Imperial cult, deifying the Emperor, serves as a unifying force across diverse human worlds. This faith provides comfort to billions in a harsh universe, but also fuels fanaticism and intolerance. The power of belief in the Warhammer 40,000 universe is more than metaphorical. Faith can manifest tangible effects, particularly in battle against the forces of chaos. The Space Marines, superhuman warriors and iconic symbols of the Imperium, embody both its strengths and flaws. Created as instruments of conquest, these transhuman soldiers inspire awe and terror in equal measure. Their devotion to the Emperor and their superhuman abilities make them formidable defenders of humanity. However, their isolation from normal human society and the potential for genetic or ideological corruption present ongoing risks to the very empire they protect. Imperial military doctrine reflects the diverse threats faced by humanity. The Imperial Guard, also known as Astra Militarum, represents the countless billions of ordinary humans who form the bulk of the Imperium's military might. Their tactics rely on overwhelming numbers and heavy artillery, a necessity in a galaxy where individual human life is cheap, but the survival of the species is paramount. The Imperium's treatment of psychers highlights the moral compromises made in the name of survival. These individuals, born with the ability to tap into the power of the warp, are both vital to the Imperium's function and a potential threat to its existence. The black ships that hunt down and collect psychers, and the subsequent soul-binding process that turns many into astropaths, showcase the brutal pragmatism that characterizes imperial policy. Economics in the Imperium operate on a scale difficult to comprehend. Entire worlds are dedicated to single purposes: manufacturing, agriculture, mining, creating a complex web of interdependence across vast distances. This specialization allows for incredible productivity, but also creates vulnerabilities, as the loss of a single world can have far-reaching consequences. The concept of time in the age of the Imperium warrants special consideration. With human lifespans extended by advanced technology and warp travel distorting temporal perception, the Imperium operates on a timescale vastly different from our own. Campaigns may last centuries, and bureaucratic decisions can take decades to be implemented across the galaxy. Cultural diversity within the Imperium presents both a strength and a challenge. While united under the Imperial Creed, human worlds retain distinct cultures, traditions, and social structures. This diversity provides a wealth of resources and adaptability, but also complicates governance and can lead to conflicts. The Imperium's relationship with alien species is primarily characterized by hostility. This xenophobia, rooted in humanity's harsh experiences during the Age of Strife, drives many of the Imperium's external conflicts. However, pragmatic alliances do occur, particularly with species like the Eldar, highlighting the complex realities of galactic politics. Chaos, the Imperium's greatest nemesis, serves as a dark reflection of humanity's own nature. The constant struggle against chaos corruption emphasizes the internal conflicts within the Imperium itself. The thin line between necessary vigilance and paranoid witch-hunting blurs frequently, leading to tragedy and injustice. Environmental concerns on a galactic scale present unique challenges. Entire ecosystems are reshaped to serve Imperial needs, often with catastrophic long-term consequences. Pollution on hive worlds reaches unimaginable levels, while other planets are stripped of resources until they can no longer support life. The role of individual heroism within such a vast and often impersonal empire adds another layer of complexity to the age of the Imperium. Tales of singular acts of bravery or sacrifice inspire the masses, yet the Imperium as a whole often seems indifferent to individual lives. In conclusion, the age of the Imperium represents a fascinating study in contrasts. It is an era of incredible human achievement and terrible cost, of unshakable faith and deep-seated corruption, of unity in purpose and division in practice. Understanding these paradoxes is key to grasping the rich, grim tapestry of the Warhammer 40,000 universe. The age of the Imperium is characterized by constant warfare, with numerous factions vying for supremacy or mere survival. Each side brings unique motivations, strengths, and weaknesses to the galactic stage. Imperium of Man. Humanity's realm stands as the largest and most powerful faction. Led by the High Lords of Terra in the Emperor's name, the Imperium fights on countless fronts to preserve human dominance. Its military forces include the countless billions of the Astra Militarum, the superhuman space marines, and the tech priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus. While possessing overwhelming numbers and resources, the Imperium suffers from bureaucratic inefficiency, technological stagnation, and internal strife. Chaos. The antithesis of imperial order, chaos represents a multifaceted threat. The ruinous powers, Khorne, Nurgle, Tzeentch, and Slaanesh, corrupt from within and assault from without. Their mortal followers, including the dreaded Chaos Space Marines, seek to overthrow the Imperium and plunge the galaxy into anarchic ruin. Chaos forces excel in psychological warfare and warp sorcery, but often fall victim to infighting and the whims of their capricious gods. Tyranids. Extragalactic invaders driven by insatiable hunger, the Tyranids pose an existential threat to all life. Hive fleets strip entire worlds of biomass, incorporating useful genetic traits into their ever-evolving swarms. Their greatest strengths lie in adaptability and overwhelming numbers, though they struggle against foes who can disrupt their synaptic control. Orcs, a prolific and warlike species, Orcs thrive on conflict. Their fungal biology allows for rapid reproduction, while their psychic field grants them technological capabilities that defy conventional understanding. Orc-Wars can threaten entire sectors, but their lack of unity and strategic planning often limits the duration of their conquests. Necrons, ancient android beings awakening from millennia of slumber, the Necrons seek to reclaim their former empire. Armed with technology indistinguishable from magic, including the ability to phase in and out of reality, Necrons are nigh unstoppable on the battlefield. However, long-term stasis has left many Necron lords mad or amnesiac, hampering their efforts at galactic domination. Eldari. Once rulers of the galaxy, the Eldari now fight for survival. Scattered into distinct factions after their empire's fall, they include the noble craft world Eldar, the sadistic Drukhari of Komara, the mysterious Harlequins, and the death-worshipping Inari. Eldari possess incredible psychic powers and advanced technology, but are limited by their dwindling numbers. To Empire, the youngest major power, the Tau promote a philosophy of the greater good. Their society is divided into castes, with the Ethereals providing leadership. Despite being a small empire, the Tau's rapid technological advancement and assimilation of other species make them a rising threat. Their main weakness lies in their limited warp travel capabilities and naive idealism in a harsh galaxy. Genestealer cults. Insidious infiltrators, these hybrid organisms serve as vanguards for Tyranid invasions. Genestealer cults slowly subvert imperial worlds from within, building up their numbers over generations before rising up in open rebellion. Their greatest asset is secrecy, but once exposed, they often lack the raw military might to stand against imperial forces. Adeptus Mechanicus. While technically part of the Imperium, the Mechanicus often operates with significant autonomy. Guardians of humanity's technological knowledge, they field armies of cyborg tech priests and combat servitors. Their mastery of ancient technology is unparalleled, but their dogmatic approach to knowledge often hinders innovation. Inquisition. Another quasi-independent imperial organization, the Inquisition roots out threats to humanity from within and without. Inquisitors wield nearly unlimited authority in their mission to combat heresy, Xenos infiltration, and demonic incursion. While essential to the Imperium's survival, the Inquisition's extreme methods often cause as many problems as they solve. Dark Mechanicus, traitor tech priests who fled to the Eye of Terror during the Horus Heresy. The Dark Mechanicus fuse the worst aspects of technological obsession with chaos corruption. They create twisted war machines and demonic engines that horrify even hardened Imperial veterans. Leagues of Votann. Recently reintroduced to the galactic stage, these abhuman descendants of ancient human colonists possess technology rivaling or surpassing that of the Imperium. Guided by their ancestral cores, the Leagues of Votann pursue their own agendas, sometimes aligning with and sometimes opposing other factions. Each of these factions, along with numerous minor players, contributes to the complex tapestry of conflict in the age of the Imperium. Alliances shift, old grudges simmer, and new threats emerge in a galaxy where peace is nothing but a distant memory. The interactions between these diverse factions drive the narrative of Warhammer 40,000, creating a rich setting for countless stories of heroism, tragedy, and the struggle for survival in a hostile universe. The age of the Imperium reaches its zenith in the closing years of the 41st millennium, a time of unprecedented crisis and potential rebirth for humanity. This culmination of 10,000 years of struggle brings together numerous threads of conflict, prophecy, and desperate hope. Abaddon the Despoiler's 13th Black Crusade marks a turning point in galactic history. Unlike previous Black Crusades, this campaign succeeds in destroying the fortress world of Cadia, a bulwark that had stood against chaos for millennia. The fall of Cadia unleashes a catastrophic warp storm that splits the galaxy in two, an event known as the Great Rift or Cicatrix Maledictum. This cataclysmic event plunges half the Imperium into darkness, cut off from the light of the Astronomicon. Countless worlds fall to demonic incursions, Xenos invasions, and internal strife. The Imperium faces its gravest crisis since the Horus Heresy, teetering on the brink of collapse. In this darkest hour, a miracle occurs. Robut Guilliman, Primarch of the Ultramarines, is resurrected through the combined efforts of the Adeptus Mechanicus and the Aldari. His return brings new hope to the beleaguered Imperium, providing leadership not seen since the Emperor walked among humanity. Guilliman launches the Indomitus Crusade, a century-long campaign to push back the forces of chaos and reconnect the severed halves of the Imperium. This monumental effort sees the introduction of Primaris Space Marines, a new generation of transhuman warriors created from Guilliman's own gene seed and armed with improved war gear. The Plague Wars in Ultramar test the resurgent Imperium's mettle. Nurgle, the chaos god of disease, seeks to corrupt Guilliman's home realm. This conflict draws in not only the forces of chaos and the Imperium, but also the enigmatic Aldari, highlighting the complex web of alliances and enmities in the 41st millennium. Meanwhile, the Necrons enter a new phase of awakening. The Silent King, supreme ruler of the Necron race, returns from his self-imposed exile to unite his people against the growing Tyranid threat. This shift in Necron activity adds another layer of complexity to the already tumultuous galactic landscape. The Tyranids, for their part, continue their relentless advance. New hive fleets emerge from the intergalactic void, each more adaptable and terrifying than the last. The shadow in the warp cast by these Xenos abominations grows ever larger, threatening to engulf entire sectors in biomechanical horror. Amidst this chaos, the Orcs find fertile ground for their never-ending Wah! With Imperial defenses stretched thin, greenskin empires spring up across the galaxy. War bosses like Gazkul Thraka lead massive Wahs that threaten to drown entire systems in a tide of violence and crude machinery. The Tau Empire, while small compared to other galactic powers, seizes the opportunity to expand. Their message of unity and progress for the greater good proves seductive to human worlds, cut off from Imperial aid. This expansion brings them into increasing conflict with other factions, testing their technological superiority against battle-hardened foes. Within the Imperium itself, the resurrection of Guilliman sparks both hope and conflict. His attempts to reform the bloated Imperial bureaucracy meet resistance from entrenched powers. The Primarch's rational, secular approach clashes with the religious fervor of the ecclesiarchy, creating tension at the highest levels of imperial governance. The Adeptus Mechanicus experiences its own internal strife. The discovery of new archaeotech and the necessity of innovation to combat emerging threats leads to schisms within the organization. Some tech priests push for careful advancement, while others cling rigidly to tradition, fearing that deviation from established doctrine risks repeating the sins of the Dark Age of technology. In the realm of chaos, the gods themselves enter a period of increased activity known as the Torment. Their great game intensifies, with each ruinous power vying for supremacy. This escalation manifests in real space as increasingly frequent and devastating warp storms, demonic incursions, and corrupted mortal pawns carrying out their patrons' inscrutable schemes. The Aldari race, ever manipulative, works behind the scenes to guide events toward their inscrutable ends. The rise of Inead, the Aldari god of the dead, offers a glimmer of hope for their species' redemption. However, this new god's emergence also attracts the ravenous attention of Slaanesh, setting the stage for a metaphysical conflict with far-reaching consequences. As these events unfold, the Emperor on Terra undergoes his own transformation. The increasing psychic awakening of humanity, coupled with 10 millennia of worship, begins to change the master of mankind in ways not fully understood. Some within the Imperium whisper of prophecies concerning the Emperor's rebirth, while others fear the consequences of such an event. This culmination of the age of the Imperium represents a crucible in which the future of the galaxy will be forged. The actions of individuals and factions in this time of crisis will determine whether humanity ascends to new heights or falls into eternal darkness. The stage is set for epic battles, grand narratives, and the potential reshaping of the galactic order. In this maelstrom of conflict and change, the core themes of Warhammer 40,000 come to the fore. The struggle between stagnation and progress, faith and reason, unity and division plays out on a galactic scale. The grim darkness of the far future has never been darker, but neither has the potential for heroism and transformation been greater. The age of the Imperium stands at a crossroads, with the fate of countless trillions hanging in the balance. What comes next will be determined by the courage, cunning, and sacrifice of those who dare to shape the destiny of a galaxy in turmoil. The tumultuous events of the late 41st millennium reshaped the galaxy in profound ways, leaving no faction untouched. The results of these galaxy-spanning conflicts and paradigm shifts ripple across the Imperium and beyond, setting the stage for the uncertain future of the 42nd millennium. For the Imperium of Man, the return of Roboute Guilliman brings both renewal and strife. His indomitous crusade succeeds in stabilizing many regions cut off by the Great Rift, providing a beacon of hope in dark times. The introduction of Primaris Space Marines bolsters the depleted ranks of many chapters, though their presence also causes tension with traditional Astartes. Guilliman's attempts at governmental reform meet mixed results. While some elements of the imperial bureaucracy embrace his rationalist approach, others resist change vehemently. This internal conflict hampers the Imperium's ability to respond effectively to external threats, even as it drives innovation in some sectors. The Adeptus Mechanicus experiences a renaissance of sorts, spurred by necessity and Guilliman's influence. New technologies emerge, blending rediscovered archaeotech with fresh innovations. However, this progress also deepens ideological rifts within the organization, with traditionalists decrying what they see as dangerous deviation from the Omnissiah's will. In the wake of the Plague Wars, Ultramar emerges battered but unbowed. Guilliman's home realm becomes a template for his vision of a more efficient, secular Imperium. This transformation attracts both admiration and suspicion from other sectors, fueling debates about the future direction of human civilization. The ecclesiarchy faces an identity crisis as Guilliman's secular policies clash with 10 millennia of religious tradition. Some within the organization push for reform, while others double down on zealotry. This schism weakens the ecclesiarchy's grip on imperial society, though faith in the emperor remains a powerful unifying force. Chaos forces, despite their initial victories, find themselves in a protracted stalemate. The Great Rift provides them with unprecedented access to real space, but the Imperium's renewed vigor under Guilliman checks their advance. The ruinous powers turn increasingly to subtler methods of corruption, playing a long game of subversion and infiltration. The Inari's rise presents a glimmer of hope for the Aeldari race. Their quest to fully awaken Inniad, the god of the dead, gains momentum. However, this mission also makes them targets for both chaos forces and suspicious imperial factions. The Inari's actions send ripples through Aeldari society, influencing even the most isolated craft worlds. Komara, the dark city of the Drukhari, suffers upheavals as the psychic awakening affects even their twilight realm. Power struggles intensify, and some Archons look to real space for new opportunities, leading to increased Drukhari raids across the galaxy. The Necron awakening accelerates, with more tomb worlds stirring to life. The Silent King's return unifies many dynasties, focusing their efforts on combating the Tyrannid threat. This shift in Necron priorities provides some relief to embattled Imperial worlds, but raises concerns about future large-scale conflicts with the ancient Xenos. Tyrannid hive fleets continue their relentless advance, adapting to new challenges with terrifying speed. The shadow in the warp expands, causing increased psychic disturbances across the galaxy. Some worlds, seeing no hope of survival, turn to desperate measures, including allying with other Xenos or even Chaos forces. Orc empires flourish in the chaos following the Great Rift's formation. War bosses like Gazgkul Thraka rise to unprecedented power, leading Waz, capable of threatening entire sectors. The Greenskin menace reaches a level not seen since the War of the Beast, forcing other factions to divert significant resources to combat this threat. The Tau Empire's expansion meets with initial success, but increasing resistance. Their naive optimism fades as they confront the harsh realities of the galaxy. Internal strife emerges as some Tau question the wisdom of their rapid expansion and the true nature of the Ethereal's leadership. Genestealer cults multiply across the Imperium, taking advantage of the confusion caused by the Great Rift. Many worlds fall to insurrections, only to be consumed by the very hive fleets the cultists worshipped. The Inquisition redoubles its efforts to root out these insidious threats, leading to increased paranoia and purges across Imperial space. The Leagues of Votann, awakened to the growing threats facing the galaxy, become more active in galactic affairs. Their advanced technology and strategic acumen make them valuable allies to some and dangerous foes to others. Their increased presence adds another layer of complexity to an already volatile galactic political landscape. Numerous minor Xenos races, previously contained or ignored, seize opportunities to expand their influence. Some offer aid to beleaguered Imperial worlds in exchange for concessions, while others simply take advantage of the power vacuum to carve out new territories. Warp travel becomes increasingly treacherous due to the Great Rift, reshaping trade routes and military logistics. Some sectors experience economic booms as they become vital waypoints, while others wither in isolation. Navigators and astropaths gain heightened importance, their skills critical for maintaining coherence across the fragmented Imperium. The psychic awakening of humanity accelerates, leading to an increase in psyker births across Imperial worlds. This phenomenon strains the already overburdened black ships and intensifies fears of chaos corruption. However, it also provides the Imperium with much-needed psychic resources to combat warp-based threats. These results of the Age of the Imperium's culmination set the stage for the conflicts and challenges of the 42nd millennium. The galaxy stands at a precipice, with the potential for both great advancement and catastrophic regression. The actions of individuals and factions in this time of turmoil will shape the future of all sentient life in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. As the dust settles on these monumental events, new heroes rise, ancient enemies stir, and the eternal war for survival enters its next phase. The grim darkness of the far future remains, but within it flicker the flames of hope, ambition, and the indomitable will to endure against all odds. The Age of the Imperium's culmination sends shockwaves across the galaxy, influencing countless events and characters. This ripple effect reshapes the Warhammer 40,000 universe in profound ways, setting the stage for new conflicts and alliances. Robert Guillemon's return catalyzes a chain reaction throughout the Imperium. His presence inspires hope in billions, reinvigorating the Imperial war effort. However, it also sparks jealousy and suspicion among the High Lords of Terra, who see their power threatened. This political tension leads to subtle sabotage of Guillemon's reforms, hampering the Imperium's ability to respond to crises efficiently. The introduction of Primaris Space Marines alters the dynamics within many chapters. Some embrace their new brothers wholeheartedly, while others view them with suspicion or resentment. This divide creates internal conflicts, occasionally leading to tragedy as chapters split or fall to infighting. The Primaris project also spurs other factions to accelerate their own super soldier programs, escalating an arms race across the galaxy. Cadia's fall impacts far more than just the planet's inhabitants. Imperial Guard regiments across the galaxy adopt Cadian combat doctrines and equipment in honor of their sacrifice, leading to widespread tactical changes. The planet's destruction also releases ancient Necron artifacts, drawing the attention of both the Adeptus Mechanicus and Xenos treasure hunters to the ruins of the fortress world. The Great Rift's formation affects Psykers dramatically. Many experience enhanced powers but struggle to control them, leading to an increase in demonic possessions and warp phenomena. This surge in psychic activity draws the attention of the Thousand Suns Legion, who launch raids to capture powerful Psykers for their own inscrutable purposes. Belisarius Cawl, the Archmagos behind the Primaris project, gains unprecedented influence within the Adeptus Mechanicus. His willingness to innovate inspires a new generation of tech priests to push boundaries, while traditionalists label him a heretic. This ideological schism leads to shadow wars within the Mechanicus, affecting the Imperium's technological development and military production. The Inari's actions reverberate through Eldari society. Their promise of resurrection without soul loss tempts many, causing some craftworlders to abandon their traditional paths. This exodus weakens some craftworlds while strengthening the Inari. However, it also attracts the attention of Slanesh, whose agents increase their efforts to thwart this potential threat to their god's power. Gazkul Thraka's growing Wa forces other Orc war bosses to step up their game or be overshadowed. This competition leads to an Orc renaissance of sorts, with more sophisticated tactics and technology emerging from the greenskin hordes. Some Imperial commanders find themselves facing Orc forces displaying unprecedented strategic acumen, challenging long-held assumptions about greenskin warfare. The Silent King's return sends shockwaves through Necron dynasties. Some flock to his banner, while others resist, leading to a civil war that spans thousands of tomb worlds. This internal conflict provides temporary relief to some sectors of the Imperium, but raises concerns about what might emerge from a unified Necron empire. The Tyranid hive mind's encounters with new threats and strategies force rapid evolution within the swarms. New bioforms emerge, specifically adapted to counter the tactics of Guilliman's Indomitus Crusade. This arms race between Tyranid adaptation and Imperial innovation pushes both sides to extremes, resulting in battles of unprecedented scale and destruction. Chaos Space Marine warbands experience a surge in recruitment as disillusioned Primaris Marines defect. These transhuman warriors bring with them knowledge of the Imperium's latest strategies and technologies, forcing Abaddon the Despoiler to adapt his Black Crusade tactics. The line between loyalist and traitor blurs further, with some chapters teetering on the edge of heresy in their desperation to combat the myriad threats facing the Imperium. The Tau Empire's expansion brings them into conflict with new foes, forcing rapid advancements in their military technology. Encounters with Chaos forces challenge the Tau's secular worldview, leading to philosophical crises within their society. Some Tau commanders begin to question the wisdom of the greater good, creating factions that advocate for a more aggressive, militaristic approach to galactic politics. Mechanicus explorator fleets, pushed to travel further in search of archaeotech, stumble upon evidence of ancient human colonies predating the Age of Strife. These discoveries reignite debates about the true history of humanity, challenging Imperial dogma and attracting the attention of Chaos forces eager to exploit this knowledge for their own ends. The Inquisition faces unprecedented challenges in the wake of the Great Rift. The increased frequency of demonic incursions and Xenos invasions stretches their resources thin. This pressure forces the Inquisition to recruit more aggressively, leading to a new generation of Inquisitors who are more pragmatic and willing to use radical methods. The line between Puritan and radical philosophies blurs, causing ideological conflicts within the organization. Genestealer cults adapt to the changing galactic landscape, some even infiltrating Adeptus Mechanicus Forge worlds. These hybrid strains gain access to advanced technology, creating new and terrifying bioforms that blend mechanical augmentation with Tyranid DNA. The hunt for these techno-hybrid cults becomes a top priority for both the Inquisition and the Mechanicus, leading to increased cooperation between the two traditionally suspicious organizations. The upheaval following the Great Rift creates opportunities for minor Xenos races to gain footholds in Imperial space. Some, like the Hrood, launch major migrations, causing time distortions and accelerated entropy in affected sectors. Others offer their services as mercenaries to beleaguered Imperial worlds, slowly building influence and power bases within the Imperium itself. Faced with existential threats, some Imperial planetary governors turn to desperate measures. Forbidden archaeotech is activated, warp-based weapons are deployed, and pacts with Xenos races are forged in secret. These actions save some worlds in the short term, but set the stage for future conflicts as the Imperium seeks to reassert control over its wayward planets. The age of the Imperium's culmination thus sets in motion a complex web of cause and effect, where the actions of individuals and factions ripple outward to affect the entire galaxy. As these influences intersect and compound, they create a rich tapestry of conflict, alliance, and transformation that will define the Warhammer 40,000 universe for millennia to come. The age of the Imperium in Warhammer 40,000 is rich with symbolism and explores profound themes that resonate with readers and players. These elements elevate the setting beyond mere science fiction, touching on fundamental aspects of the human condition and society. Decay and stagnation stand as central themes embodied by the Imperium itself. Once a beacon of progress, the realm of humanity now clings desperately to fading glory. This decline serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of dogma and the suppression of innovation. The Adeptus Mechanicus, with its religious reverence for technology it barely understands, exemplifies this theme, highlighting how blind adherence to tradition can lead to intellectual stagnation. The Emperor symbolizes both hope and tyranny. His shattered form on the Golden Throne represents humanity's potential and its current fallen state. As a figurehead, he embodies the idea that even in death, duty endures. The Emperor's dual nature as both a secular leader and a worshipped deity explores the complex relationship between religion and governance, questioning the role of faith in society. Corruption permeates the setting, manifesting most visibly through the influence of chaos. This theme delves into the fragility of human nature and the constant struggle against our baser instincts. The fall of the Primarchs to chaos symbolizes how even the mightiest can be undone by their flaws, serving as a tragic reminder of the human potential for both greatness and downfall. The concept of sacrifice underpins much of the Imperium's philosophy. From the daily toil of billions to the Emperor's own internment in the Golden Throne, the idea that progress and survival demand a heavy toll is omnipresent. This theme explores the moral complexities of leadership and the question of whether the ends truly justify the means. Humanity's relationship with technology forms another crucial theme. The setting portrays a society that both reveres and fears its technological heritage. This duality reflects real-world anxieties about technological progress and its potential to both save and destroy us. The Men of Iron Rebellion serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of artificial intelligence, mirroring contemporary debates on the ethics of AI development. The Imperium's xenophobia highlights themes of racism and cultural isolation. The policy of purging all alien life raises questions about the nature of humanity and the ethical implications of extreme nationalist ideologies. This theme invites reflection on real-world issues of discrimination and the consequences of refusing to cooperate with those perceived as other. Genetic engineering and transhumanism feature prominently, especially through the Space Marines and Adeptus Mechanicus. These factions embody the question of what it means to be human and at what point we might lose our humanity in the pursuit of power or survival. The Primaris Marines further explore this theme, raising issues of progress versus tradition within an already transhuman context. The cyclical nature of history emerges as a recurring motif. The rise and fall of civilizations, from the dark age of technology to the current Imperium, suggest that history repeats itself. This cycle raises questions about the nature of progress and whether humanity is doomed to repeat its mistakes. Lovecraftian horror infuses the setting, particularly through entities like the Tyranids and the dangers of the warp. These elements symbolize humanity's insignificance in the face of cosmic horrors, exploring themes of existential dread and the psychological impact of confronting the unknown. The warp itself serves as a powerful symbol for the human subconscious. Its dangers represent the perils of unchecked emotion and desire, while humanity's need to traverse it reflects our struggle to master our own psyche. Psychers embody both the potential and the danger of delving too deeply into this realm of raw emotion and thought. Prophecy and destiny play significant roles, especially in the narrative surrounding the Emperor and the Primarchs. These elements explore the tension between free will and predestination, questioning whether individuals can truly shape their fate in a universe filled with godlike beings and cosmic forces. The theme of unity in the face of diversity runs throughout the Imperium's structure. Countless worlds with varied cultures united under a single banner reflect the challenges and strengths of maintaining a cohesive society amid vast differences. This mirrors real-world struggles with globalization and cultural identity. Environmental destruction features prominently, with many worlds reduced to polluted wastelands or stripped entirely of resources. This serves as a stark warning about the consequences of unchecked industrial expansion and the exploitation of natural resources. The concept of total war and its impact on society is a constant presence. The Imperium's permanent state of conflict explores how perpetual warfare shapes culture, government, and individual psyche. This reflects on the militarization of society and the moral compromises made in the name of survival. Heroism in the face of overwhelming odds is a recurring theme, often tinged with tragedy. Characters frequently face impossible situations, highlighting the human capacity for courage and self-sacrifice. This theme resonates with the idea that true heroism often goes unrecognized in the vastness of the universe. The setting's vast scale serves to emphasize themes of individual insignificance and the search for meaning in an indifferent universe. Yet, paradoxically, it also highlights how the actions of individuals can have far-reaching consequences, embodying the tension between cosmic insignificance and personal agency. These themes and symbols interweave to create a rich tapestry that elevates Warhammer 40,000 beyond simple conflict narratives. They invite readers and players to reflect on profound questions about human nature, society, and our place in the universe, making the grim dark future a mirror through which we can examine our own world and selves. The Age of the Imperium in Warhammer 40,000 presents a fascinating tapestry of conflict, philosophy, and human nature pushed to extremes. As we delve into this grim, dark future, several aspects stand out as particularly thought-provoking and worthy of discussion. Firstly, the Imperium's stagnation serves as a poignant cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked bureaucracy and the suppression of innovation. The tech priests of Mars, clinging to fragmentary knowledge they no longer fully understand, mirror real-world scenarios where progress is hindered by rigid adherence to tradition. This raises questions about the balance between preserving valuable heritage and embracing necessary change. The Emperor's dual role as a secular leader and religious icon presents an intriguing paradox. Despite his original vision of a rationalist society, the Imperium devolves into a theocracy centered around his worship. This transformation highlights the human tendency to seek meaning through faith, even in the face of contradictory evidence. It prompts us to consider the role of religion in governance and the potential consequences of merging spiritual and political authority. The concept of necessary evil, personified by organizations like the Inquisition, challenges our notions of morality. In a universe beset by existential threats, do the ends justify the means? The extreme measures taken to ensure humanity's survival force us to confront uncomfortable questions about the price of security and the potential loss of the very values we seek to protect. Transhumanism, as embodied by the Space Marines and the Adeptus Mechanicus, explores the boundaries of human potential and identity. At what point does enhancement render one no longer human? The physical and mental modifications undergone by these factions blur the line between man and machine, prompting reflection on the nature of consciousness and the ethical implications of extreme body modification. The Imperium's xenophobia, while presented as a necessity for survival, serves as a stark reminder of the pitfalls of extreme nationalism and fear of the other. This aspect of the setting invites parallels with real-world isolationist policies and their long-term consequences. It challenges us to consider whether cooperation might yield better results than constant conflict, even in the face of significant differences. Chaos, as a corrupting force, provides a compelling metaphor for the human psyche. The constant struggle against temptation and the potential for even the most noble individuals to fall resonates with timeless themes of human frailty. This aspect of the lore invites introspection about our own moral compasses and the vigilance required to maintain our principles in the face of adversity. The vastness of the setting serves to emphasize both the potential and insignificance of individual action. In a galaxy of trillions, a single life might seem inconsequential, yet the narratives often hinge on the choices of individuals. This dichotomy reflects our own struggles to find meaning and make an impact in an increasingly complex and interconnected world. The Tyrannid threat presents an interesting allegory for environmental concerns. As a force of nature that consumes all in its path, the Tyrannids prompt consideration of humanity's relationship with its environment and the potential consequences of unchecked consumption of resources. The Aeldari's fall serves as a tragic reminder of the potential consequences of hedonism and moral decay. Their story arc, from the heights of galactic dominion to the brink of extinction, offers a compelling narrative about the importance of self-discipline and the long-term consequences of short-term gratification. Technological regression in the age of the Imperium raises intriguing questions about the fragility of knowledge. The loss of understanding, rather than the loss of technology itself, presents a scenario where humanity possesses powerful tools it can no longer comprehend. This aspect of the setting prompts reflection on our own relationship with technology and the importance of maintaining a deep understanding of the systems that underpin our society. The concept of sacrifice permeates the setting, from the daily toil of billions to the grand narratives of heroic last stands. This emphasis on duty and selflessness in the face of overwhelming odds resonates with timeless themes of heroism. However, it also invites scrutiny of the systems that demand such sacrifice and whether they are truly worthy of the price paid. The cyclical nature of history, presented in the lore with its ages of progress and regression, offers a thought-provoking perspective on human civilization. It challenges the notion of inevitable progress and prompts consideration of how we might break destructive cycles in our own history. Diverse human cultures united under the Imperium's banner present an interesting study in cultural assimilation and the preservation of identity. The tension between unity and diversity reflects real-world challenges of globalization and the struggle to maintain cultural heritage in an increasingly interconnected world. The role of truth and information control in the Imperium invites parallels with contemporary issues of propaganda and media manipulation. The deliberate suppression of knowledge for the sake of stability raises ethical questions about transparency in governance and the right of individuals to access information. Warhammer 40,000's treatment of AI in the Men of Iron Rebellion offers a nuanced take on the potential dangers of artificial intelligence. This aspect of the lore contributes to ongoing debates about the development and control of AI technologies in our own world. The setting's exploration of genetic engineering, particularly through the Space Marines and Primaris projects, touches on very real ethical debates surrounding human enhancement. It prompts us to consider the potential benefits and pitfalls of pushing the boundaries of human capability through scientific means. In conclusion, the Age of the Imperium provides a rich backdrop for exploring complex philosophical, ethical, and societal issues. Its grim, dark future serves not just as entertainment, but as a mirror through which we can examine our own world and choices. The depth and complexity of the setting invite ongoing discussion and interpretation, ensuring that Warhammer 40,000 remains a thought-provoking intellectual exercise as well as a compelling narrative universe. The Age of the Imperium in Warhammer 40,000 stands as a monumental narrative achievement, weaving together countless threads of conflict, philosophy, and human drama into a tapestry that spans millennia. As we conclude our exploration of this vast and intricate universe, several key points emerge that underscore the enduring appeal and significance of this grim, dark future. Firstly, the sheer scale of the setting serves to both awe and humble. The Imperium of Man, spanning 1,000,000 worlds and countless trillions of souls, presents a vision of humanity's potential for greatness. Yet, this same vastness highlights the fragility of human existence in a hostile universe. The constant struggle for survival against myriad threats reinforces the theme that even at the peak of its power, humanity remains vulnerable. The complexity of the Imperium's structure reflects the challenges of governing on an unimaginable scale. Bureaucratic inefficiency, religious dogma, and technological stagnation paint a cautionary tale about the potential pitfalls awaiting any civilization that prioritizes stability over progress. This aspect of the setting invites reflection on our own societies and the delicate balance between order and innovation. Central to the Age of the Imperium is the concept of sacrifice. From the Emperor's internment in the Golden Throne to the daily toil of billions, the setting emphasizes that survival comes at a tremendous cost. This theme resonates with timeless questions about the price of security and the moral compromises made in the face of existential threats. The diverse factions populating the galaxy create a rich tapestry of conflict and alliance. Each race, from the enigmatic Eldari to the relentless Tyranids, brings unique motivations and challenges to the galactic stage. This diversity not only provides endless narrative possibilities, but also serves as a mirror for examining different aspects of human nature and society. Chaos, as the Imperium's antithesis, plays a crucial role in the setting. The constant threat of corruption and the internal struggle against one's own desires add depth to the narrative, exploring the darker aspects of human psychology. The fall of mighty heroes to chaos serves as a poignant reminder of the constant vigilance required to maintain one's principles in the face of temptation. Technological themes in the Age of the Imperium offer a unique perspective on humanity's relationship with science and progress. The reverential fear of technology and the loss of scientific understanding present a stark contrast to our own era of rapid technological advancement. This aspect of the setting prompts consideration of the potential long-term consequences of our current trajectory and the importance of maintaining a deep understanding of the tools we create. The grimdark nature of the setting, often summarized in the phrase, "In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war," might seem pessimistic at first glance. However, this backdrop serves to highlight moments of heroism, hope, and human resilience. The endurance of humanity in the face of overwhelming odds becomes all the more inspiring when set against such a bleak universe. Warhammer 40,000's treatment of religion, particularly the imperial cult, offers a nuanced exploration of faith's role in society. The Emperor's transformation from a secular leader to a worshipped deity raises intriguing questions about the nature of belief and the human need for spiritual guidance, even in a technologically advanced future. The cyclical nature of history presented in the lore challenges linear notions of progress. The rise and fall of civilizations from the dark age of technology to the current Imperium suggest that advancement is not inevitable. This perspective encourages reflection on our own civilization's trajectory and the importance of learning from historical patterns. Transhumanism, explored through the Space Marines, Adeptus Mechanicus, and other factions, delves into fundamental questions about human identity and the limits of enhancement. As our own society grapples with advances in biotechnology and artificial intelligence, the ethical dilemmas presented in Warhammer 40,000 become increasingly relevant. The setting's exploration of authoritarianism and totalitarianism through the lens of necessity provides fertile ground for discussing the balance between security and freedom. The Imperium's harsh methods, while presented as essential for survival, invite scrutiny of real-world policies and the potential erosion of civil liberties in the name of protection. Environmental themes, though often subtle, permeate the setting. Polluted hive worlds and planets stripped of resources serve as stark warnings about the potential consequences of unchecked industrialization and exploitation of natural environments. The age of the Imperium's rich lore and complex narratives have fostered a vibrant community of fans, artists, and writers. This engagement goes beyond mere entertainment, with enthusiasts delving deep into the philosophical and societal implications of the setting. The diversity of interpretations and ongoing debates within the community highlight the depth and versatility of the Warhammer 40,000 universe. As we look to the future of the setting, the introduction of new elements like the Primaris Marines and the unfolding consequences of the Great Rift ensure that the age of the Imperium remains dynamic and full of narrative potential. These developments promise to keep the setting relevant and engaging for years to come, offering fresh perspectives on established themes. In conclusion, the age of the Imperium in Warhammer 40,000 stands as a testament to the power of speculative fiction to explore complex ideas and provoke thought. Its grim, dark future serves not just as a backdrop for tabletop battles and thrilling narratives, but as a mirror through which we can examine our own world, choices, and potential futures. The enduring popularity and depth of the setting ensure its place not just in the annals of science fiction, but as a valuable tool for contemplating the human condition in all its complexity. As we close this exploration, we're left with a profound appreciation for the scope and depth of the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Its ability to blend action, philosophy, and social commentary creates a truly unique fictional landscape that continues to captivate and challenge audiences worldwide. In the grim darkness of the far future, we find not just war, but a reflection of our own hopes, fears, and the indomitable human spirit.